reading an article this morning that 60% of kids between 12 and 16-year-old have already either experimented with these companion AIs or know a friend that have an AI, for a better lack of a term, either a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Wow.
Wow. I get on the phone and it was prompt this, prompt that, leave a message. This, but I said, Al, get in the car, drive to CVS, and it's going to be faster if you just go and answer the question than me trying to do this. And he did. He got in the car, he went to CVS, he got the answer, he got the medication, he came back all in like 10 minutes. It would have taken me 20 minutes on the phone
Wow.
to get an answer.
Okay, here we go. So we are at show number 20 on Two Guys I'm Just Saying.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So my buddy Lewis, of course, in Florida, we're up on the in the Northeast, and we have a special guest that decided to step in with today's topic. The Mrs. Marlyn Bandiero. Welcome, Marlene, to the show.
It's the privileges of being married to one of the hosts. I feel like being on today.
That's true. That's true. So I was reading an article yesterday that I thought would be an interesting thing to talk about as far as a topic on today's podcast. And by the way, we're now on Amazon and we're on iHeart as well. So if you like those
Yes.
platforms, go to it, subscribe, like, and tell people about it. Share. We're trying to grow at this point, and it's getting better and better. Today is absolutely episode number 20. Which time flies. So
Yep.
please go in and subscribe and let us know where in the world you're watching or listening. So the topic that I read yesterday, and it came to mind right away, was what is better in the world today than it was back in the
Huh.
day? But there's a flip side to the coin. What was better back in the day than it is today? So if I may, the first thing I thought about, two things. Number one, what is better today? Technology. No question about that.
Uh-huh.
And that we can go on forever. The negative side of that positive is there's too much stuff that comes at people every single day if you allow it. And people get caught up in that. So that's the negative of that. My positive side is relationships across the board, I feel, is not as good as it once was. There are exceptions. Of course, Lewis and I know each other as friends for a very
Mhm.
long time. It's still strong, but we live in a kind of a disposable society today that the moment something happens, they're out. Where back in the day we didn't do
Correct.
that. So
Mhm.
that's my 2 cents. What do you think, Marlene?
Technology for sure is much better
Hmm.
today. I mean, you know me, whenever I have a question, what is the first thing I do? Google it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I get the answer right away. I love that. As a writer, when it comes to research, there's nothing like today's technology. What used to take me days to research in the past,
Mhm.
now in like a minute, I get my answer.
Mhm.
But what I miss the most about the past, and I think we are missing it in today's world, is for for a lack of a better word, elegance.
Oh
It
yeah.
just it like what comes to mind, for example, is when I was a kid and we were going to go to Florida and we were going to take the plane. We got dressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a thing. We were going to take a plane, so we got dressed. I don't mean like going to a party, but we looked nice.
Mm-hmm.
Al and I were taking the red eye from LA to New York. And I kid you not, people were in their pajamas.
Yeah.
Pajamas,
Yeah.
slippers, pants. a woman had her pillow, her blanket. This is like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, and this wasn't like she was dressed and then in the plane she changed into her pajamas. No, she was at the airport in
That's
her
horrible.
pajamas with her pillow and her blankie.
Yeah.
And that to me is just I don't know, I miss that elegance when people used
Mhm.
to get dressed up to go places. You
Mhm.
went out and you bought a pretty dress to go to a nice
Correct.
dinner or to go to
Yeah.
the theater. That's gone. Now people go to the theater and they're wearing leggings and, a
Even to go
sweatshirt
to
and
church, even to go to church, you see him
yeah,
in
even to go to
shorts
Yeah.
and
church.
Yeah.
sandals. You would
Yeah.
never
Yep.
dare go to church like that
Yeah.
before.
What's
No,
uh what's what's
no.
your what's your take on it, Lewis? What is better today than back in the
I gotta
day,
tell you,
and what is better back in the day?
so from now to back in the day, definitely on the subject of technology. I mean,
Mhm.
and I'm super happy for that because I donated a ton of money to when Blockbuster was around. I never rewinded my movies, so I would get hit with that $3 charge all the time. So I'm glad once the movie's over, you just turn off your TV and you're done. There's no
Yeah.
rewinding.
Yeah.
So, but and the fact that you just get a whole library straight out of your TV, that's phenomenal. You don't have
Exactly.
to, drive
Exactly.
down there and
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
And then from back in the day, I miss people's social skill and being social,
No
Oh,
question.
and it's gotten
Mhm.
yeah.
scary. I've after the technology convention at the beginning of the year, I've really been following AI, especially for their specialized apps that are called chatbots, but they're more companion apps. And it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
scary how younger and younger the kids are starting to use these companion AIs, and our new generation's just losing all their
Correct.
social skills. So that
Yeah.
Right.
scares me, especially because
Yeah.
they don't even know how to have a conversation now, and now they're completely alienating themselves.
Mhm.
And it's funny enough, I was reading an article this morning that 60% of kids between 12 and 16-year-old have already either experimented with these companion AIs or know a friend that have an AI, for a better lack of a term, either a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Wow.
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 Yeah, exactly. My my same response. I was like,
Wow.
incredible. And
But
back in our day, remember when you used to walk in a room as a young person, the first thing your parents used to tell you, like, hey, make sure you say hello to all the adults. If they engage in a
yeah, yeah.
conversation, make sure
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
yeah.
answer
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
never interrupt.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
it is eye opening.
What was better back in the day that isn't around today?
I just and back in the day that isn't around today. The ice cream man.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
miss the ice cream man.
Well, Mr. Softy, yeah,
You would hear
yeah,
the little bells, or yeah, Mr. Softy. In Puerto Rico,
yeah.
we call him Pico. It was like another type of a brand,
Uh,
but you would hear those little bells, and man, you were just out the door running. And I miss seeing that. I don't know. I miss the younger generation on the streets when we used to play tag or ride the bicycles, and I don't see that anymore. And I think I reminisce a lot towards that.
Hmm.
mhm.
Okay, I have another one that I feel has really separated people now that I see it all the time. Back in the day, everybody
Which one?
ate quality food. Everybody, no matter what you were able to afford. You went into a supermarket and stuff was not processed. It wasn't garbage that was in the food. Everything was not overly sprayed. So quality of
Mhm.
food today is that if you can afford
Mm.
healthier, better food, and there are many people out there, they're not eating something that just is a God-given right of to eat the way that people ate back in the day, where the neighborhood, all the mothers went shopping and they all came home with basically the same food, and nobody was getting sick. So to me, there's a big difference that the food today is so watered down and so treated with chemicals, which is a real reason that people are getting sick
Mm.
all the time.
That's true.
Well, then
That's
what
true.
do you miss from back in the day that's not here?
Going
Uh,
in the same vein as Al and the food, I remember before big supermarkets, you had your grocery store, you had your butcher, you had your
yeah.
fishmonger, you
Oh,
had your fruit
yeah.
stand,
Mhm,
and when you went
mhm.
shopping, you went to all of them. But I know that sounds a lot, but you had relationships with the people who ran the stores. So you'd walk in, it would
Mhm.
be
Yep.
almost a social event. They would ask how. Remember, I'd go with my mom. They would always ask how you doing in school. How's this?
Yeah.
There was a relationship, and if God forbid, the family was a little tight because the check hadn't come in yet. You could always just
Yeah.
say, I'll get you on Monday." They used to write your name down in a little book and how much you owed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There was a relationship,
Yeah.
and it goes back to both we're losing the social aspect of life,
Correct.
being part of a community and having relationships within that community. I think we're really losing that, not just
Mhm.
because of technology, but because everything now is convenient. As long as it's convenient. Go into
It's
one
true.
supermarket, everything's in the supermarket. I can get everything done, go home and watch TV. So in to lose the convenience, but you gain a relationship, you gain an experience. I mean, I lived in Europe for a while, and even though we had the supermarkets were already here in Europe for a long time, it was still not big supermarkets. It used to be little stores, and people would
Correct.
shop for the day or for like just two
Or
days in
markets
advance.
outside. Yeah, the markets
Right.
that were
Yeah.
outside. Yeah.
And you would just
Yeah.
it would be fun. I was learning a language, so I would go to these stores, and whoever it was, the deli guy or the fish guy would help me, and we would laugh about the mistakes I'd make with the language, and it was just it was a better time in that sense, I think. Today, again, I think we're losing that. We're losing that communication with people. And
Oh,
and
without a
you
doubt.
just said kids have robots as friends, basically.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's sad.
I
So
gotta tell you,
basically,
I miss a lot of the toys. The toys, Al. I think the
Oh,
toys are
toys.
extremely different because I
like
I
what?
love playing. And I guess we used our imagination a little bit more than the kids
Yeah.
nowadays. Because you would get a
Mhm.
yo-yo, marbles, or something, and
Yeah.
I don't like to say marbles because marbles became weapons. But outside of that, other toys were amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember making a pony out of a broomstick because I didn't have the
Yeah.
actual pony with the stick, so I had a broom. That was my pony.
Mm, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting in this conversation and hearing the number one thing that is far and away, and I'm not hearing a second or a third, is so far everybody's
Yeah,
saying technology is great. But all of us, all three of us, have not added to that uh, with
yeah.
quality of whatever that is better. I have another one that is a pet peeve of everybody. That back in the day, you got a human being on the phone of customer service. That's
Oh,
gone.
don't get me going with that.
Um,
Oh.
uh, it's it's 10 prompts to maybe get to someone, and asking the same question
Yes.
over and over and over again, and I think, honestly, in my opinion, it's designed that way, so you are so frustrated, you hang up,
Mhm.
and I think that's done on purpose. And I'm gonna call a spade, but that's the way it is. In my opinion, it's like, you know what? Keep putting them through 15 prompts so they'll get frustrated and just leave. So I think customer service is horrendous. Not in every single company, but the majority. And now you have to
Oh,
deal
yeah.
with the company you're dealing with somebody overseas that can barely speak English, so now
So
you have to
the
deal with that.
so the other day, we had to figure out something about a prescription at CVS.
Mm.
And all we had it was a simple question. Simple question. Is it ready? Okay, and I get on the phone and it was prompt this, prompt that, leave a message. This, but I said, Al, get in the car, drive to CVS, and it's going to be faster if you just go answer the question than me trying to do this. And he did. He got in the car, he went to CVS, he got the answer, he got the medication, he came back all in like 10 minutes. It would have taken me 20 minutes on the phone
Wow.
to get an answer. It's
Yeah.
just,
Well,
it drives me crazy.
there was another reason why I did that because I'm hearing so I figured, um, you know what? I'm gonna go in the car and I'll go get what you need and
Yeah.
and we'll do it from there.
I literally took the phone, threw it, and said, "Just get in the car and go to CVS." That's what I'm gonna ask them.
And
I'm done.
she did not have to ask me twice to go and do
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
So the other thing that we did
That's
talk
funny.
about is honestly, uh, if you have a long term relationship in your life, you're lucky. And
Mm, yes.
I have several, but that circle is smaller than it used to be. For the simple reason of I call it disposable relationships that for whatever the reason
Mhm.
something goes wrong. And back in the day, you would say, "Hey, what's going on? You know, let's sit down, let's talk about this." Or you maybe yell at each other for a little bit and go, "Okay, now that's over. What's the deal?" And I find that I see not only with myself, but I see with other people that somebody crosses a line now in whatever it is. Maybe they had a bad day. You are out. It's no, it's no longer
Mhm.
of, hey, what's going on with you today?
I believe there's a lot of people that don't value real relationships, right? I mean, and
Hmm.
nowadays everybody's so quick to say, "Oh, that person is toxic," or "This person is that."
Yeah.
And back in the day, those words didn't really exist, right? Either we connected or we didn't. And we had I don't think there's a lot of mentors, right? When I was coming up,
Yeah.
when we first met, you took me under your wing. You explained to me a lot of things about the industry and how keep your circle small, this and that. But I
Yeah.
applied that across the board, and I learned to separate friendship from business
Hmm.
relationships to acquaintances that are
Hmm.
just people that you see every once in a while. But nowadays, people just cut him off. He's toxic. Well, you don't have to cut him off if he's not your real friend. If it's your real friend, then you go the extra mile. So, but the ones that I do appreciate, and the ones that I am close, if something hits the fan, I'll pick up the phone immediately and
Oh
just
yeah.
nip it in the butt, and I
Hmm.
don't let it marinate for weeks
Mhm.
or months and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And I don't think
Yeah.
I really believe people don't do that anymore. Plus, like we said, a
Uh,
lot of people are losing social skills. They don't even like to talk. So you
yeah.
definitely can't do it over text. So
Well,
you got to do it in person.
the big thing is they just ghost you. You know, it's gone because now they don't have
Yes.
to sit down with you at a table or wherever it is to get on the phone. They just ghost you, which to me personally, that is as rude as you can get of people. For my taste, if you ever do that to me, ever, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, we have boundaries, and if you have a problem, whatever the problem is,
Correct.
just speak up. You know, let's talk about it. Or back in the day, you'd get called out for it. It's like, hey, what's going on with you? Where you know, what's that attitude coming from? And
Mhm.
then you would explain. But the ghosting thing today, I call it the coward effect,
Mhm.
and that's me. And I'm going to tell you right
Correct.
out. To me, that's a coward, whether it's male or female, that doesn't want to say,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, this is what bothered me about what you did." They're gone. Marlene, what do you think?
It goes back to the texting. I think nowadays you can hide behind a text, whereas
Uh-huh.
before, if you had a problem with a friend, you'd pick up the phone and actually speak and
Yeah,
hammer it out.
yeah,
But now you hide behind that text. Or, you just say a word here, a word there. Oh, you okay? You there? Again, it goes back to nobody wants to have a real conversation anymore.
Yes.
Even in a text, it's 2-word answers or 3-word answers. I hate when people do that. I don't want a book either, but I don't hate those 1 or 2-word answers. Give me a sentence. I'll
Yeah.
take a sentence,
Yeah.
the people don't even do
Mm.
that.
Well,
Or they
Lewis
give me the emojis. I hate those
Yeah.
freaking
Yes,
emojis.
Al,
I
stop
gotta
giving me the
figure
finger
out.
emoji. I don't know if
I
you're
mean,
telling me I'm number one or that you're okay.
I
I don't get it.
I get some of them. Okay, I get
wait,
this. I
oh,
get this,
wait,
but
but truth be told, I know he hates that. So if I'm in a playful mood, I shoot that back to Lewis because I know
I
when it
know.
says on the bottom, when it says delivered, I know he's cursing me out at that point right now. So there's a little bit of humor in it. but
oh my
but
god.
I said,
The
I'm
other
going to send
day,
a thumbs up because he's going to hate when I would do that. So I'm going to send it to
I I hate that when people write something like LMOF, I get it. LMOA, but sometimes they write things I have no idea what they mean.
Yeah.
I have to Google what someone meant
yeah,
with 3
yeah.
letters at the end.
Guilty.
And
Yeah, I've
I
done
it
that.
I it's
Eh,
and some of
eh,
the emojis, I don't understand what they mean. I look at the picture, I'm like, "What is that supposed to mean? That's a cow."
Lewis had mentioned that he would
yeah.
ask somebody something and just get a K as a return, the letter K. It's like, what? How lazy can you be? Uh, I get it,
Finish
man. I
the
get it.
word. Uh,
Uh,
the
you know,
only emoji that we used to have way back when, I remember when we wrote a letter, at the very end, we put a little heart with
yeah.
an
That's
arrow
right.
going through it. That was the emoji. That
So,
was it.
Lewis, I'm going to be
And if you were
sending you
typing
a
an
heart
email,
from
it'd be
now
the
on.
semicolon with the hey, hey, to the moon, Alice, to the moon.
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
but you know
yeah.
what's funny? That every time that you reply with something like that, I'll be in the middle of something and I'll see your reply and I'll have a client in front of me and I'm like, oh, shut up.
Son of a bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll text him later. But it's like you got the perfect, like if you had a camera inside the lounge, it's like you got the
Yeah,
perfect time. And I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
yeah. Is there another technology? I shouldn't even say that. Is there something today? Is there a category today besides technology that you can say off the top of your head, "Oh, it's much better now."
I love the fact that w we could make a movie and we could sell it to Netflix or Amazon or
Yeah.
whatever. It could go worldwide in a day. That's fantastic for us as independent filmmakers.
Yes.
However, I do miss the days when it was the theater and you went to the movie
Mm.
theater, and again,
Mhm.
it was special. We Al and I went to see, when Elvis, that new Elvis, movie came
The
out,
the concert footage.
the concert footage, we went to
Yeah.
IMAX,
Oh,
and we
nice.
saw it, and at the end, we were so blown away by it. Everyone in the movie theater just got up and stood there. And we all these strangers, we all started talking about how amazing the movie was and
Mm.
the
Nice.
footage and how talented he was, and it was so special for that moment. All these strangers stayed in the movie theater to talk about the movie,
Yeah.
and I remember that used to happen all the time with really good movies. The I remember when I went to see Star Wars the first time, wow,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like, "Wow, Star Wars."
Yeah.
Where we were just sat in the theater afterwards like, "Wow, this was amazing." That I do miss. I miss those moments.
Yeah.
But having said that, it is great that you can just put on the TV and watch any movie anytime you want, and we could sell it tomorrow, and it's seen everywhere in the world in one day, and all that's fantastic too.
Yeah.
So to me, it's sort of like a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah, we sent
I
the new
definitely agree.
trailer of this movie that we're working on, developing as well, Blue Betrayal. We sent the trailer to, Lewis yesterday and got back a great response. So,
Yeah.
that stuff in technology and that, like Marlene said, we can make and work on several movies developing and say, let's put a trailer together and see what the feel was. And your response back to us was fantastic of what you thought the trailer looked like. I watched just yesterday a clip from Steven Spielberg, and they were interviewing him, and he made a point that was so on the money, just like what Marlene was just saying, that when you go to a movie theater, when you do go, most people don't anymore. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
what political side you're on. It doesn't matter
Right.
that you don't like the same things or like the same things that the people in the next row. Everybody is there to look at one thing, what's up on the screen and the story. And as Marlene just said,
Exactly.
afterwards, you hear people discussing it. I don't know how many arenas that you can go to that everybody is there for one reason and one reason only, to be entertained by a movie and not discuss what our likes and what our dislikes are. I don't know of any. Do you?
Correct.
Sports is
No.
probably the only other
Yeah,
one. A
sports.
Yeah.
That's
sports,
the only
you
thing I
know,
can
a
think.
a game. It's probably
Yeah.
the
A
only
game.
the only
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. If you are a fan of that team,
Oh,
if you're a
well,
fan
yeah,
of the
well,
visiting team,
Well,
then
especially
you
in New
if
might
you're a
York, you're
Yankee
in
fan,
trouble.
if you're a fan of any other
You're in
team, it
trouble.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, well, yeah. When we go to Yankee Stadium, it doesn't matter who you are. You're in dangerous territory if you're wearing any other kind of hat. So um, this has been a really interesting topic, and thanks to Marlene Bandiero for coming on and being a guest and getting her
that
point
was
of view.
fun.
Yes.
It's always good to see my buddy Lewis and the podcast, the two guys. I'm just saying, we are on most major podcast platforms, and we're adding more. So please subscribe, please like, because that's what helps us a lot, and let friends know
Yes.
about it. And we'll see you every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock.